feed into our natural narcissism. We all have an element of narcissism. All of us do. What social media has done is taken our narcissism and made it global and international. So the impact it's having, particularly more so on women than it does on men. On men, what it does is has the opposite effect of narcissism. It makes them weak towards women. Because they see so many beautiful girls, they get weaker and weaker and weaker. Their self-control gets weaker. Their ability to say no gets weaker. Their desires get higher. So men are becoming weaker because of social media and women are getting stronger. And the reason I say stronger, but really I mean more narcissistic and powerful in the most negative ways, because what women can do is replace every man they've ever met now by posting a few pictures. What men can do, what they can't do that, but instead what they can do is fantasize about women that they never knew existed. So you're creating an imbalance. You're making women stronger and stronger and men weaker and weaker. And as a result, relationships break down when women are stronger than the men that they are with. So we've created a culture of weaker men and more powerful women, and as a result, the families and the foundation of a family cannot flourish.
And so how do you think we could kind of mitigate that, or how do you think two people can come together and not be affected by, the perhaps temptation of posting a promiscuous photo and getting likes and this and that?
One thing I would say is that women that post promiscuous attract men that like promiscuous. So it's not usually a case of a man who's totally innocent and dating a woman who's a total narcissist and posting online. Usually it's a man that likes the bikini pictures all day long and follows the bikini models who ends up with a girl like that. And then she'll be mad that he's still doing that and he's mad that she's still posting. They both have poor habits. They both have poor social media hygiene. I believe that the best way to kind of mitigate that is you can't beat the world at the moment. Even if you wanted to, you can't avoid the sexualization on social media. You can't stand up against it. You're not going to win. But what you and your partner can do is reduce the impact of social media on you by both partners deciding to behave in a way that is constructive and respectful to the relationship. Both people equally. So if I don't want you liking lots of girls' pics, I'm also not going to post pictures that lots of men like. If I don't want you following lots of girls, I'm not going to post pictures that attract a lot of male followers, and vice versa. You both agree that we can't control what falls into our lap. We might walk down the street and meet somebody and something might happen, but at least the things we can control, like our feed, our For You page, what we look at on social media, let's try and make sure that what we can control, we try and avoid alternatives as much as possible. And we try and make decisions on social media that is as respectful to the relationship as possible. Stage, you're going to really burn yourself out. And the other thing is it's going to feed into our natural narcissism. We all have an element of narcissism. All of us do. What social media has done is taken our narcissism and made it global and international. So the impact it's having, particularly more so on women than it does on men. On men, what it does is has the opposite effect of narcissism. It makes them weak towards women. Because they see so many beautiful girls, they get weaker and weaker and weaker. Their self-control gets weaker. Their ability to say no gets weaker. Their desires get higher. So men are becoming weaker because of social media and women are getting stronger. And the reason I say stronger, but really I mean more narcissistic and powerful in the most negative ways, because what women can do is replace every man they've ever met now by posting a few pictures. What men can do, what they can't do that, but instead what they can do is fantasize about women that they never knew existed. So you're creating an imbalance. You're making women stronger and stronger and men weaker and weaker. And as a result, relationships break down when women are stronger than the men that they are with. So we've created a culture of weaker men and more powerful women. And as a result, the families and the foundation of a family cannot flourish.
And so that kind of gives rise to the online argument that if you're uncomfortable with your woman posting promiscuous photos, or let's say photos in a bikini, then you're insecure.
Well, I know it's really hard. That's a really hard one for men because they will always label it as you're being insecure and so on and so forth. But you just got to ask yourself, what is the underlying need when you are posting that picture? As a girl, you have to ask your female, you have to ask your woman, I will let you do whatever you want. No worries. I don't have to be with you if I don't like it for long enough. But as your husband or as your partner, I'm curious what motivates you to want to take that picture of you basically in a bikini or basically half naked and post it on the internet. I just want to know your motivation. And if she says, I've worked really hard and I just want everyone to see what I've worked hard for, ask her why. Why is that important to you? What need of yours is missing? Where is the need for social validation coming from? Is there something that you're missing? Is it something from before, like something from before me? Where is this coming from? And if she doesn't have the ability to reflect on that need and you don't get the answers that you think are valid, you don't have to pressure her to stop, but you have to ask yourself, is this a deal breaker for you or not? Can you handle this for the rest of your life? If the answer is yeah, well, to be honest, it's no problem. In my culture, everybody wears bikinis. Like if you're from somewhere like Brazil or South America, people wear bikinis all day, every day. It's not really that shocking. And so you might be totally fine with it. But if you're like, you know what, there's a part of me that doesn't feel comfortable knowing the type of man that might be following it. It can range from a normal, regular guy to a very creepy guy that I don't feel comfortable around. So I just don't know if I can handle it. And then you take the onus on yourself or whether or not you want to go forward with the relationship. But be curious. Ask her why.
Yeah, and I would even say, if you want to go forward with the relationship, I would wonder, what is that really telling me if she's seeking that kind of validation or attention? And the same goes for men. What kind of validation are you seeking if you're posting these kinds of photos if you are in a committed relationship?
Yeah, both of them. I mean, and I can understand to some extent if that's where their money comes from and stuff. If they get their money from posting lingerie about bikini pictures, I can understand. They can say, it's my money. No worries. You can either accept that or not accept that. But if there's not even the money aspect and it's just the social validation aspect, I always just think it's probably not a good idea to be in a long-term relationship with a woman who can make money from her body because they learn how to manipulate men. Essentially, when you learn to make money from your body, you're learning the art of manipulation because you're taking a man's weakness and turning that and exploiting that into money. So I would argue, is that the type of person you want to be with? And so you might want to, but it's still, some men think, well, as long as you're getting your bag and you're working hard, no worries. But if there's none of that and there's no actual motivation, there's probably an insecurity in her that is deeper than one that you can fix. So you have to leave it to her to figure out how she wants to fix it.
And so with the whole sex work thing on the rise today, my question, and that's something we've never talked about, is why is it so prevalent and normalized today? Whereas, let's say our grandparents would be like, are you crazy? That's horrible. So what is this normalization? Where's this coming from?
I would attribute it to a male addiction to pornography. What happened with the advent of pornography is the natural instinct of a man is to feel an element of disgust when they see the woman they desire with another man. That's our natural instinct. As a man, when you see the woman you love or you care about or you desire even with another man, it makes you feel a bit sick. What pornography has done is taken the woman you desire the most, have you literally watch her with another man, and instead of being repelled, the sensations, your brain has been hijacked, and the desires and all of the dopamine and all the reaction you're getting has been hijacked. So your normal repulsion has been replaced with intense desire. So what would have normally caused you to feel repulsed by a woman is now making you want her more. Wanting her more, seeing her naked with another man all day, every day is what you're watching. Your brain has been hijacked. Your natural masculinity has been hijacked. And as a result, what's happening is when you go into the real world and you meet a really promiscuous woman, instead of being repulsed, you're now sexually compatible with her because she reminds you what you've been watching. So now more than ever before, men are open to sex workers. They're open to marrying them. They're open to investing in them. They're most open to loving them. And here's what the really sad reality of sex work is. The women that engage in sex work are, in the long run, winning compared to the women that don't. And sadly, that's what society's done. What's happened is that good, wholesome woman nowadays that's actually dedicated to the children, she might find herself divorced, single mom, struggling to pay rent because divorce is so high and men are so addicted to pornography, they're going elsewhere. So she's going to find herself struggling. Whereas you take a sex worker and she gets uses man after man after man. And then her long-term plan, yes, she's going to be alone, but both women can end up alone. But the sex worker is now going to be living in an expensive home, sending the kids to an expensive school and living in an expensive area. And now her generation has changed for the better. So we've almost made it so that the sex workers win in the long run. And that's only a man's fault, because they're the ones investing. So it's not the women's fault, because like you can see the reward is so high for being a sex worker, and it's so low for being a loyal woman. You be a loyal woman in this day and age, a man might still be watching pornography, a man might still be liking pictures, a man might still be going to escorts. Whereas if you be an escort, yes, you might end up alone in the long run, but most women might end up alone in the long run. But you will be able to clear out your generation. And that's the sad and scary what future we're creating, unfortunately.
Wow. We've never actually dove deep into that. That's...
You know what? The reason I said that to a client of mine who left, his wife and wholesome environment to go be with an escort. And I told him this is the long-term plan. This is the long-term what's happening to women, where they're going to be rewarded. And we delved deep and stuff, and we realized that actually is what happens. You end up having escorts who now live in really nice areas, their kids go to really great schools. They're now and it's just, they clear out the generations ahead, whereas good women, they suffer more in the next generation. So it's difficult for them. And this is not me in any way encouraging, that kind of behavior. But what I'm trying to do is wake men up. Look at where you're investing. Look at where you're having children. Look at who you're rewarding. If you're rewarding the wrong women, why do you then complain that women have gotten bad? Welcome to my course on masculinity, and in this course not only will I be able to completely transform your understanding of women, but on a more personal level, you will enhance your self-esteem, self-respect, and your boundaries. The goal of this course is to take a man that has absolutely fantastic intentions, wants to find love, wants to commit, wants to have a good, healthy relationship, but is finding that he's constantly running into women who are narcissistic, who are disrespectful, who are disloyal. Now, if you are finding that continuously, then there must be something in your engagement with women that is causing this. What my course will do is look at where this problem comes from, how to resolve it, how to communicate effectively with men and women, and how to command respect. Most importantly, how to improve your self-respect. And throughout the course, you'll be given interactive sessions, but with course materials to help you channel and journal your learning. So if you are interested in becoming the most masculine version of yourself, join today.